Welcome back, everybody, to Orthodox Review, the most uneducated educational program here on the internet today. I'm your host, the guy with 1.5 thumbs, and today we're looking at volumes 1 and 2 of the Hieratikon from St. Tikhon's Monastery. Published, copyrighted, I should say, respectively in 2014 and 2017. We're going to get into the nooks and crannies of the larger picture of these books in just a moment. But first, I got a bag. Please like, share, and subscribe. It helps us out so much. It really does. Also, Patreon, PayPal, blah, 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 blah. Okay. You don't need to hear that. I should start doing that at the end of the videos. Because I still feel weird saying it even after all these years. Anyway, so yeah, I'm quite the fan of these two fellas. In that if you go back a few episodes to the Liturgicon from the Antiochian Archdiocese, these two volumes are pretty much that for the OCA usage, and laid out very similarly, but where these have the edge is not only you have several ribbon markers, but you have the first book, which is just the daily cycle of services, and the second book just for the divine liturgies. And even if we and that includes the pre-sanctified, so like you have the one thing is the anaphora for Basil and Chrysostom are separated, but it's pretty easy to flip back to them. And I would imagine the reason they did that is because of the size of the volume. And as you can see, the print size is absolutely perfect. And mind you, these are really intended to be slipped into the belt of a priest or deacon and used when they're fluttering about the altar to and fro like the sweet cherubim they are. But I've seen plenty of lay people use them, and I'll tell you why. Because much like the Liturgicon, even though you don't get the movable parts of the services, such as psalms, what you do have are the priestly prayers, the prayers that deacon and priest say. And then it's much easier to follow along with the order of a service with these books. Plus, you have all of the variations on the services. Matins for the departed. Like, let's take a look at the table of contents in this quick before we go over the construction, because I kind of like the way it's laid out. So you have the order of censing, which the deacon usually does if there's a deacon in your parish. And then the liturgical day begins at Vespers, so we go through Vespers, every iteration thereof of Vespers, the Litany for the departed, or Litia, depending on what tradition you're rolling out of. And then small compline, great compline, the midnight office, and then matins. Now, after that whole cycle, you have the cycle for the all-night vigil, which is nice. It cuts out all the guesswork. And then Paschal stuff, magnifications and prochimena, dismissals. So pretty much everything you need right in there. Here in the hours, you have the prayers for each hour. But outside of that, nothing, because the hours are pretty much, as you know, psalms. The same thing with the Typica, the royal hours, the Lenten hours. So by cutting out the psalms and making you rely on a psalter, which I know you have at least a half a dozen of them lying around. Don't lie. Don't fool me. So many of you people have written in, oh, you're killing me because I'm spending all this money on books. Well, join the club. And anyway, so now a lot of people don't attend as many of the lesser services outside of the Divine Liturgy. So you find more and more people, or at least I have locally found more and more people using the Divine Liturgy book, which I find odd because the liturgy on Sundays is pretty uniform. Outside the movable parts, you know, the antiphons stay the same, and really, I mean, when it comes down to it, the laity are saying Lord of Mercy a lot. And that's not to knock the Divine Liturgy. But what this has in it is everything leading up to the liturgy. So, in essence, this, and wait for the magic, replaces this. And this, thanks to a silver Sharpie, now actually has something on the binding. So this was the old service book from St. Tikhon's from 2010, which was a combination of 2 different service books. So this was all the Divine Liturgies and had all the explanatory mess in there, especially when it comes to like the preparation of the gifts. You know, so this has been boiled down because this had all the movable parts in it. So let's go back into here. So you have the antiphons in here, whereas in the new one the antiphons aren't, and you don't really save a whole lot of space. Look at the difference in these books. Yeah, this is kind of chunky, but I don't know. I would like to have seen the antiphons in here, but for people that are students of the liturgy, I would say this is a fantastic volume to have. 1, because it's compact, it's easy to manipulate. 2, 3 ribbon markers? 3 ribbon markers, sure, why not? 4 possibly, I don't know, I can't count right now. I thought there was a black one too, but I guess I was wrong. Anyway, so yeah, now let's go over the construction just a little bit, because I'm on the fence. Okay, you see that? Now, it's a little stiff. It's a little stiff because I haven't been using it that much just yet. Honestly, I don't see myself using it that much at all, simply oh, by the way, there's the sewn binding. Heavy duty. I said duty. Anyway, so I would say if you don't already have the old black one, snag the red one. And just because like a lot of people are always asking about the Divine Liturgy and about the gifts, and the information's all right there if you want it. You could even find the information online, but if you're looking for a handsome volume to kind of reference, it's a good one to have. And the one thing I also like about priest and deacon service books for the laity is that you know, I was told some time ago by someone, you know, by a clergy person in a archdiocese that, you know, oh, these are prayers that the laity shouldn't hear, shouldn't know. And prior to coming to that part, I was like, where I come from, the priest says these out loud so we can hear them. And actually, Father Thomas Hopko of blessed memory was a big advocate of making sure the laity could hear certain prayers that, you know, some people say they should be done secretly for no good reason. So I'm you know, I'm a rebel. So I like having those prayers at my disposal. It is also worth noting that the first volume, which has the daily cycle, replaces 2 other books, one for Matins and one for Vespers, that were equally as big as these, and tidies them up. So really, a priest and or deacon can look no further than a couple inches worth of paper. It's very lightweight, easy to manipulate, well built, again, that binding, to help them along their way. They're not horrifically expensive, and I forget where they're printed, I'm afraid to say. I do like the nice tough paper there. And of course, as with a lot of more recent service books, it's on this really nice cream paper. The weight on this is a little light, but the opacity really isn't so bad. So we're looking at maybe 9 pound, 10 pound possibly. Not too heavy. But yeah, all in all, a solid investment if you are a student of the Divine Services and you didn't see the hand gesture. You can't see the hand gesture I'm making right now. I'm gesticulating horrifically over my head. At any rate, so there it is. Go buy them, or don't. Whatever. Hey, you want to talk about it more? Comment section. Hit it up, yo. Anyway, I hope everyone's enjoying their Lenten struggle. Because I know I'm not. But you know what? Glory to God for all things. Lent comes every year, and every year it kicks my butt and reminds me why we need Lent. So that being said, on behalf of Spooky Cat, her mother, and myself, please pray for me. I will try to pray for you. And don't forget to go to church, say your prayers, and remember God. God bless.